Maybe? Great, that's it. Okay, so many of you, I see a lot of hands going up, like when we ask the question, are you aware of Tally or heard of Tally, or even if you have worked on Tally or how familiar with the product is. So basically it's a 30-plus-year-old company which started back in 1988, wherein, it started as a different product name actually. It was not even Tally back then. But later on when it took the name Tally, so it's been 30 plus long year journey, and especially when it comes to GCC, we've been present here for over a decade now. So the most important thing right now again is the compliance that has swept in, automating your accounts. We know that 2018 before that, GCC was a tax-free country, right? So it was highly known for its zero tax, no compliance. That was the main area for GCC. But now we saw a lot of taxation comes in, like VAT came in 2018, where most of the GCC countries have adopted VAT. And then we saw Saudi also hike their VAT rates during the year of 2020 to 15% from 5%. And then we saw corporate tax has already gone live in UAE. And then we also have heard few news wherein Oman is also coming with taxations. So when it comes to compliance in GCC, it's day by day it's increasing. So it's becoming a compliance-heavy trend, and that's how the government and the countries want to move ahead. So that's when the system comes in place, right? So there are a lot of systems out there, of course, but what makes it necessary, required, and the go-to product for anything, for that to be simple, right? So at Tally, we always believe that whatever we build out there, so anybody, even if they are not accountants or even if they're core accountants, it should serve both the set of customers, right? If let's say I'm a very hardcore accountant, I know what is debit, what is credit, I know golden rules of accounting, that's in my blood, right? Even if you ask me at any given point, I can tell you. But for those who are not proficient in accounting, right? So we see a lot of small scale businesses who are just, there's a one person, there's an owner, they just need to record the bills on a daily basis. They're not well versed with accounting. They don't know what is debit, they don't know what is credit. They've sometimes not even used computers, right? So we have definitely come across that scenario. Or even if they're using computers, they're maintained in Excel sheets. There's a manual receipt book that they write and give it to the customers whenever they deliver the products, or even invoices, right? So in all these cases, the software to be simple for a person to understand, even if from accounting background or not accounting background, is something that we can proudly say we have accomplished, right? So we have to stick to our tagline, of course, which is the power of simplicity. So that's what the entire Tally product has been built across, and even the roadmap is laid towards keeping it simple, at the same time not compromising in any of the aspects like efficiency and accuracy and even the compliance part. Right? So yes, perfect. So now I would like to invite Mr. Nandaraj to set up a context for today's session.
No, he has to start again. I mean, not started yet. Good afternoon, everyone. I think some of are joining. We can start anyhow. So how many of you are in UAE before 2018? Oh, it's a good amount. He also mentioned about the compliance journey in UAE. Actually, it started in 2018. Until then, accounting was done earlier also, using tools or without tools, Excel. The only difference which actually happened after 2018 is the actual accounting started in UAE after 2018. When I say actual accounting, the businesses, especially I'm talking about small and medium companies, where accounting was done for only a couple of reasons. One is issuing an invoice and getting the outstanding management. So no balance sheet, profit and loss, or let's say any kind of analysis were not a major part of any of the SMEs. Now, after 2018, what happened? Compliance took over. People started maintaining books of accounts slightly better way. Now came the CT. So again, you need to go with further proper bookkeeping or accounting. That's how it is. And Raju sir mentioned about e-invoicing, right? That is the next thing which is going to come. So again, e-invoicing going to be an online, your reconciliations between your sales and purchase. So accounting is now a huge part of any business process in UAE. So until 2018, now onwards, 2018, there is a huge difference the way you maintain accounts. Today, since it is at CT a topic, we'll keep it relevant to CT. Can you just switch the slide? Not this, the second slide. Yeah. Today's agenda will keep it very specific. Now, as I mentioned, so when we say accounting, we will start from basics. See, most of the companies, when UAE introduced a corporate tax, most of the companies started revisiting their way of doing accounts, their company structures, the business process, because everyone gone to basics. So from there you have to start, right? Most of the people were generating balance sheet for the purpose of banks or something, but now it is redefined. So you need to have proper books of account. So what we do is we will spend some time on basics of accounts. I think most of you raised your hands in the morning showing that you're already using Tally. That means you already knows the basic. But we want to revisit for the benefit of everyone. So we will see how the basics, one I meant to say is how you start your chart of accounts. End of the day, for corporate tax, you need to have right reports, right data in your hand. If your basics are right, the data will come actually, whatever the data you want in right format. So having a right set of chart of accounts, when we say chart of accounts, you're talking about accounting tree, your ledgers and grouping. So if you do it at the right place, you will get the right report. And moving further, we will touch upon the data sets, what all the data sets what you can look into, the basic reports. Praveen will spend some time on that. And the most important part, whether it's a corporate tax, whether it is VAT, the compliance, when it is in place, you need to ensure your data is intact. When I say data is intact, you may be a single person operating in your company, or maybe a multiple people operating your tool. It may be Tally or something else. So you need to have right set of controls in place. Once you, let's say, submitted your return, it may be VAT or it's a corporate tax, there should not be any kind of changes which is happening in the history of the data. So that is where you need to have a right control in place. Then we'll spend some time on edit log. I think some of you have raised your hand about Prime 6.0, right? I think you said you're using. So there is something we introduced recently called edit log. Again, when we have a compliance in place, if the controls are not in place, if something happened on the historic data, you want to have kind of track. So edit log is very, very important. So we'll spend some time on that. And moving further, a very beautiful report, analysis and verifications. So you can compare two sets of data for two purposes. One is for compliance, one is for business purposes. When I say business purposes, you maybe want to compare your revenue versus your expenses, or let's say cost versus, cost A versus cost B. So it's a various analysis which you can do. So we'll spend some time on that. And finally, there's an e-filing which Tally integrated with the Imara portal. We are not launched yet. The release is ready. We will give you a sneak peek of that, how it works. So we are going to launch that soon. From Tally, you can file VAT return directly to Imara portal. And there is a CT tool, basically, as I mentioned, when we have financial data ready, how I can extract into a format, then I can do a slice and dice, or whatever the data I need. So we have made some tool which is connected with Tally. You can pull the data and you can do a slice and dice, or let's say you can work on that. So next 1 hour, Praveen will spend time on this. At the end, we will have a Q&A. So what are the questions you have? We can take it. So good luck for 1 hour after heavy lunch. So we'll have some, so please have some interactive questions in between you can throw so that, it will be live. Okay? Thank you. Praveen.
Okay, it feels like a second introduction to myself, right? Okay, all right. So I see a lot of people are slightly sliding into sleep. The eyes are getting a little bit drowsy. So yes, not to worry. I've got something in-house which is exciting for all of us, which is practical and which is very relatable, right? You're all accounts proficients, you know everything, right? So in this case, let us see how Tally, it's not just CT compliant or VAT compliant or your accounts compliant, but also it's overall tax that exists right now and what are the future upcoming taxation can also be handled in the system. So firstly, chart of accounts. So very familiar word, right? Chart of accounts, masters, GLs, you guys are very aware of that. So when it comes to system, when it comes to specifically for corporate tax, your books of accounts starts from setting up your base in chart of accounts. So be it your cost centers, your revenues, or even your taxable and non-taxable income, the categorization all happens within the chart of accounts. So in today, let us see in Tally how you can configure your general ledgers depending upon and as per the CT regulations, so wherein the base of CT is right away set in the product itself, right? So this is where you get started. If you start and classify your chart of accounts in a right way that aligns with corporate tax, then your start is right away set in the product itself, right? So this is where you get started. If you start and classify your chart of accounts that tax very well, and of course, service-based industries, for your manufacturing-based industries, and for your trading-based. So how you can maintain your inventory irrespective of what kind of business or manufacturing or whatever segments that you're from, how to maintain in Tally, let's take a look. I'll switch to my screen to Tally. So yeah, so I have taken a demo company that is Gulf Tech Trading here. So I heard many of you were in 6.0 or like in Tally Prime. Can I see a show of hands, please? Very few. So how many of you are familiar with this screen? Okay, so it is somewhat relatable to ERP9, I guess, right? Yes. So this is what we call as gateway of Tally. So right here in the latest version, we have given the chart of accounts for a better easy and flexibility. So once you enter on chart of accounts, choose your ledgers. Tally, as per the international accounting standards, has already defined the groups, so wherein all of your general ledgers is going to appear. For example, for this company, the bank account is in ADCB, so it's appearing. Current asset, banking, the classification is as per international accounting standard. So right here, you have multiple options on the right-hand side. For instance, let's say I click on ledger view, so wherein I can see all of the ledgers in my company and what is the grouping that is done. So many times what happens when you get started with the books of accounts, human error is always possible, right? Chances of mistakes is quite high. So sometimes, since if the data is huge, many times we take help our colleagues, right? So you punch in few of the data, let me create some important masters and get started quickly. So at any given point, the classification might go wrong, right? So this is where Tally double proofs any businesses, where you can come right here, verify your chart of accounts, and if there is any discrepancies, right here you can select and you can change the grouping, right? So you can align your chart of accounts as per the corporate tax right here. And then you can also click on multi-masters, and here you have the option where you can choose to edit most of the masters that you already created in one screen, one go, or you can choose to create multiple ledgers, align it simply with the respective group in one go. So let's say I want to alter, I'll click, I'll select all of my items, and right here, you can alter it, even the opening balances. That's simple, right? So next is, I'll switch back to PPT. Next is the financial statements. So the most common financial statement is balance sheet, trial balance, P&L, profit and loss account, right? So we all know the importance of these three reports, right? They set the standard, they explain to us how the business is going on, what is the health of the business, and what is the projections that we can take, be it any critical business decision, has always been taken care by these reports, correct? Right. So now in Tally, how can the system help me derive are much more better insights, right? If we see it on a set of papers, if we see reports, okay, my asset is this much, my liabilities are this much, my receivables is this much. You cannot get into the deeper or deep details that the system can provide, like in Excel or if in manual also. But with the help of Tally, how can I dive deeper into the insights and fix if there is any changes required, right? How can I modify my reports in such a way that I can have a better understanding and give the same understanding and insights to my management so they can further take the decisions respectively. So I'll switch back to Tally. So right here, you're all very much familiar with the screen. So I'll go to balance sheet here. So once you enter, it gives you the list of ledgers. Based on the transactions you have recorded, automatically, Tally will prepare your books of accounts, or let's say your MIS reports. So here, many a times, as a CFO or as a salespeople also, how are we performing? Like compared to the first quarter or the first half year, is the company performing better in terms of financials, or is it nosediving? Like how do we arrive at that? How do we have a comparative analysis of my books of accounts in one click, right? So right here you have the option, auto column, that gives you the flexibility to choose. If you want to compare quarter versus quarter, or you want to compare half yearly, right here you can choose and you can see the side-by-side comparison of how your business is performing. And even in cases where multi-currency is involved, I've come across a lot of businesses where dollar is a very common currency that is part of their books of accounts. Even then, my company sometimes asks me to give, let's say, one of my accountant or head of accountant or even owner or the business owner, one of my business partner, I prefers to have the reports in their currency, be it euros or be it dollars. Can I pull from Tally and click of a button? Right? That is what the system has to enable, all the tools that whenever you need to run your businesses. So right here, you can click on auto column. So select the company. So right here, you have the currency option. So depending upon the currency that your business deals or transacts with, you can generate any of your MIS reports in the respective currency. So just simply choose the currency. For this instance, let's say I want to generate in dollars. And the standard exchange rate as per the CBD already comes here. You can choose and save it. So in a single screen, you can have a comparative between your local currency, that is dirhams here, and on the right hand side, you can see the balance sheet that is generated in dollars. And also, many a times, some companies prefer to have a horizontal balance sheet. Some company prefers to have a vertical balance sheet, depending upon their usage. Here you can also click on change view. You can choose the different view or mode of the balance sheet that as per your company you have the practice of, or even for multiple analysis that you guys do. And here you also have basis of values that gives you a different valuation method. First in, first out, last in, first out, standard, average, last sale price. So different valuation methods for both balance sheet as well as for profit and loss account, both is given. So where you can choose and generate reports as per that. Let's say I'll come to my P&L as well. Very familiar report again for all of you, I did not stress on that, right? So even here, the same features and facilities apply. Many a times, I've definitely been come across where, how many of you wanted to customize P&L as per your requirement? How many of you? No. Whenever you go to the configure option, you are very aware of it. You might have used it at some or the other point, right? So let's say I click on configure here. I want to see percentages of my balance sheet. So I'll just make this yes. And here, let's say I want a vertical balance sheet or a horizontal balance sheet. I can choose as per that. And let's say I want to see the base currency also, and I will save this. So whenever I come next time to profit and loss account, I have to do the same configuration again. I have to press my F12, I have to enable the percentages. So whenever I come balance sheet, can Tally give it a default setting of that this is the view I need, this is the way I want to see? Or even as I mentioned, comparative balance sheet, let's say half yearly. So whenever I log into my P&L, so this is the report that I want to see in. I don't want to again make the same settings. Yes, you can personalize your reports with Tally by simply clicking on Save View. Give the name that you would prefer to have, like let's say quarterly balance sheet, or let's say half yearly balance sheet, or my view of balance sheet, and you can simply save this as your default setting, and then whenever you visit your P&L, that is the way it's going to appear. And also you can share it with your owners. Many times what happens, owner keeps asking us, okay, what is outstanding, what is the finance, what is our financial situation, right? So we can simply create a report that your owner needs or your CFO needs, simply share it with them, right? At the click of a button, they can access whatever the reports needed. Next, of course, the stock summary, as I mentioned. So let's say here I'm getting the list of stock that is currently in my warehouse, currently in my company that we are trading with. So here I also want to see my inward and outward. I can make those yes right here. So I'll get a clear visibility of what was the total purchases done for the period, total sales, and then what is our current stock handling. Many a times this report is not enough. We want to see the top selling stocks. We want to see the stock that is lying with us, like aging analysis. We want to dive into movement analysis. That's what gives a better understanding and help us to manage the stocks better, right? So right here, you also have base of values. Here you can choose the different valuation method for your stock as well. The most common is average method, of course. And then right here, by clicking on change view, Tally Prime gives you the access to other than just a simple plain view, that is your movement analysis as well as aging analysis. So this is the report that helps us understand how the inventory is being managed in the company efficiently, right? Are we failing in terms of piling upon the high selling or fast moving goods, or are we still working around with the stock that is not being sold that fast? Are we investing there too much? So this is where the efficiency of your inventory management can explain a lot. So now coming back, we discussed about the financial statements. I'll switch back to PPT. So now here, next is security control. And this is one of the very common areas that I come across a lot. Even many cases, even you have experienced. So how many of your businesses have more than one accountant or one accounting person in your company? Like data entry person is somebody else, accounting person is somebody, and reporting is person somebody else. How many of you have that situation? Oh, okay, that's not surprising, of course. So how many times have this conversation happened? Who recorded that entry? I didn't record. Who deleted the transaction? Right? The tracking of the transaction history, who recorded, who edited, who deleted. We all have come across that situation a lot. So that is where we come with security control, where you can define, you can protect your business data, you can define the user-wise, you can restrict what, who, and when can they make their respective changes. Let me just take you through that. So here, I'll go to company. First of all, we'll have to create a company's password, right? Let's say I'm the administrator. I must have, or the owner, must have a full access of your business data. I can simply go to company, alter. Here, I'm going to give the credentials. The administrator will have a full access control. Let's say, for example, admin. He must have complete control, and he is going to manage the users, right? Once you've given the username and password here, who is the administrator, then you can switch back to company feature here, go to your users and password. So right here, you can see there is a data entry person, there is a tally.net owner. Right here, you can create as many users as you want, right? So for example here, let's say, I'll say, I need another data entry operator. Her name is, let's say, Lucy. I'll give your list. Our password can be, let's say, 123, for example. I can create it this way. So now what happens is, every time Lucy opens Tally, she is going to have to enter the username and her own password. So we know whenever she creates a masters, we can track that. Whenever she deletes a transaction or edits a transaction, we have complete control with date time stamp. And coming to restricting the data access, right? So here, you can also go to user roles. So let's say data entry. So on the left-hand side, you can see disallow the following features. So I don't want Lucy to take a look at crucial business information like payroll information, the profitability of the company. I don't want her to have the complete access. Right here, you can block all of those reports, transactions, the crucial sensitive data that you don't want for any data operator to take a look at. You can just allow exactly what is as per their role, maybe just record sales, purchase, payment receipt, and then move on. So switching to PPT, here we saw how we can enable the security control for the company. So then we saw how to create the users, restrict the data as per their requirement. And also, you can set up your own password policy. Like it should be alphanumerical, or it must have any dedicated symbols along with their password. You can choose to protect and give a level of security that you feel is necessary for your businesses. Next is the edit log. So we saw how to set up the user controls. So next is, do we have a report to see, okay, how many transactions Lucy recorded, how many transactions did she delete, or if there is any admin, how many transactions did he alter on request of data entry operator or Lucy, right? So in Tally Prime, in release 5.0, we gave edit log summary report where you can see the complete history in a single report, how many transactions have been logged, and how many transactions have been altered, and who is the user who altered those transactions. Who made the changes, what were the changes, you can easily track in a single report. I'll switch to Tally here. So let's say I'll go to display more reports. So right here we have the new report, that is edit log summary. So once you enter here, automatically you're going to see the list of transactions and what are those transactions that were altered. So let's say I want to see this user-wise. So I'll click on change view. I'll say user-wise voucher summary. Right here we have one user. Let me switch back so I'll have multiple users to show you. So right here, I'll click on change view and then choose user-wise. So here you can see admin, he has recorded somewhere around 24 transactions and he has edited around 37 times. Ahmed, who is a recent joining the company, has just recorded and altered a single transaction. Lucy has already altered 2 transactions here. So each and every user-wise, you can track and see the transaction that the alteration has been done to. So let's say I want to see all the transactions. I'll just click on all vouchers. So you'll get a clear count. Total transactions that were recorded, that were not altered, and that were altered by each and every user. You can simply drill down here. For example, Lucy, I'll enter here. You can see she has recorded 1 payment entry, but not altered. And here, there were 2 sales transactions which were altered. You can press enter, drill down to see which month the transaction is, and further, you can see until the changes that the user has made. For example, let's say on 28th June, the transactions were recorded, but on 3rd of August, the transactions were modified. Any data that were modified appears in red color for your reference. Isn't this easy? Right? So this specially helps a lot in terms of auditing, right? We all have been in terms of auditing, wherever audit is happening, who recorded transactions, what changes, no idea. You have to run through asking people, multiple people. So this definitely plays a very huge role when it comes to maintaining the credibility of your data. So, and also many times after you file your VAT returns, every quarterly, every monthly we file the VAT returns. And once you close the financial year, once auditing is done, we close the books of accounts and then we move on. So now, by any mistake, if the user logs into the previous year data and records transaction, so that is where the credibility or the dependence or the accuracy of the data is compromised. That is where we cannot depend on that data anymore. So that is where system comes into place, helps you track what were the changes and also which user has made it. Tally also has a feature wherein you can block the backdated transactions. For example, I don't want my users to record any transaction prior to 31st December 2024. I can simply give the date so that no user without the admin's permission can record any transaction pertaining to that period. So coming back to the presentation. So we saw how to set up the edit log, and then we also saw tracking edit log masters and transactions, which user has done, what transaction changes, and also we saw in the report how we can dive into the in-depth analysis of my reports. The next important thing is the analysis and verification tool. So again, to have a better audit control and to have a better understanding of your business data, so we brought in the option that is analysis and verification. So when it comes to corporate tax, we heard a lot in terms of money. We learned a lot, right? How important your business data is, right? And there are many tools to help you to maintain a proper business data. When it comes to filing your VAT return, filing your corporate tax, to ensure that your data is the right values, nobody has manipulated any of this data, edit log, security control play a very crucial role, and then comes your data analysis and verification, where you can take it to a next level and make sure that you verify every master, every transaction, and you approve that so that your auditors or CS can further take it. So we'll take a look at how the verification of your opening balances and periodically payments, receipts that are done, and also throughout the financial year, if anybody has recorded any transactions on, let's say, my weekend, Saturday, Sunday, how can I filter and see those in a single report by click of a button? Or when we heard of a lot about the approval system, right? If my data operator or my person wants to take approval from my management or from the accountant before, let's say, closing the books of accounts or creating the transactions or masters, we'll also see how we can verify and approve those in the system. So I'll go to Gateway of Tally. So right here, I'll go to Display More Reports. And right here, you will find above edit log summary report, analysis and verification. So you can dive into further deeper analysis of your data by simply entering here. So the first step, again, we saw the foundation of your corporate tax stats from chart of accounts. You can enter on this report. You can see the total number of ledgers that have been not used throughout the period. You can see around 7 ledgers. You can enter here. You'll get the list of those ledgers. And right here, the ledgers that are used in the current period, you can enter on them. You can see the transactions, when was the first voucher date, what is the closing balance, what is opening balance. Right here, you can choose these masters. If you're verified, if you're giving consent to it, you can select these masters and then click on verify. So this gives the assurance to your owner, to the CFO, CEOs, that yes, the business data has been properly managed in every single level of accounting, reporting, and yes, it has been verified. So this is what assures your business data, increases the credibility of your business data for your further filing of your compliance with corporate tax, VAT returns, or even now upcoming e-invoice, right? So yes, you can click on this option right at the bottom. You can select all. Once you've verified every single ledger, you can choose and then click on to verify in one go. Next is the verification of your balances. So you can enter here. You can, in a single view, verify the closing balances as well as the transactions that has happened for all of your items and elements from your balance sheet as well as your P&L. Then, as I mentioned here, we also have the pending documents that have been sent. Many times, the goods are delivered, but the invoice is not made. Or many times, let's say, we have received the invoice, but the goods are still pending to be delivered from our supplier. In all these cases, what are the pending documents are there? You always can inform your team before the financial year closing or before you start filing the corporate tax. You can just make sure these pending things are taken care in your system. And then repetitive transactions. If there are any transaction that has happened multiple times with the same value, with the same ledger, you can also identify here. This definitely helps in terms of identifying duplication of your transactions by mistake by your data operators. Next is, let's say we have cash withdrawals and deposits for you to further verify your cash inflow and cash outflows. And here you also have the transactions and holidays that users have recorded on Saturdays and Sundays. Right? So many a times what happens, just to verify this transaction to be step ahead, it's necessary to make sure that any unapproved transactions hasn't taken place in the system. And then we have voucher verification. So that allows you to easily filter and see what are the related party transactions. So I think this is a very integral part of corporate tax. So if you're dealing or if you're interacting your transactions with a business that is related to you, like maybe let's say it's your own company or you own a 50% of it. I think Rajiv sir is much better in terms of when he explains that. So just whenever related party transaction comes into picture for corporate tax, you can flag those companies or ledgers right here in Tally. So all of their transactions will be filtered here. You can easily refer to that before filing. So coming back to the final segment, that is the e-filing and CT tool. So I see many of you are already using VAT. How many of you maintain or file your VAT from Tally? Can I see a show of hands, please? How many of you maintain VAT in Tally? Right, so yes. So you record your input VAT, you record your output VAT, then we have a VAT 201 report in Tally that you use. So the general practice of filing how VAT right now, as of now, is that you export the VAT 201 report into PDF, you see the figures in it, log into Imara tax portal, you plug in the figures, right? That's how most of you do it? Yes. But what if, whenever I'm recording, it's a manual hassle. I have to double check every single figures. If it is 0, then yes, definitely I have to count each and every zeros. In this case, system is already there, right? Automating can be much more simpler. What if I can click a button in Tally and then all the data can automatically exchange to Imara tax portal, right? It completely eliminates the hassle, improves accuracy, efficiency, and a better visibility so that you don't have to log into multiple portals for doing one single filing. So let me just give you a glimpse of that. Before that, I think we already know VAT was implemented in 2018. So then the threshold of this and even the return filing could be quarterly or monthly for you guys. Yes, by logging into Imara tax portal from within Tally, we can directly do the e-filing. Let's take a look. So again, I'll come to Tally here. I'll click on Exchange at the top. Right here, you'll find a new option, Upload VAT 201. And then it is important for you to log in. You have to log into Imara tax portal so that the bridge between Tally and the FTA portal is created so that exchange of data flows. So every company has their own credential that is given by the department. You just have to plug in your email ID here, password, and the CAPTCHA, and then log in. So this establishes a 30-minute data exchange with Tally to tax portal. So once it is done, I'll switch back to the system. I click on Start Session here. And here it shows me the list of previous reports or VAT filing that I have done. I can see the status, VAT reference number, and whichever is pending to be submitted, I can enter on that, and immediately it starts fetching the data from tax portal. Right? These are the tax refunds, goods imported. All the figures that is populated by Imara tax portal is been fetched right here. You can verify all your sales data, sales, purchases, all of it, and choose to submit by clicking on Submit here. So once you approve it, automatically the entire data gets exchanged by clicking on Submit here. So once you approve it, automatically, and also your will doesn't. So if you have ensured that your basics, like your chart of accounts, your transactions mainly, they're all right, correct, and they've been verified. So then, yes, e-filing is a smooth. So next is corporate tax. So yes, so we built a CT tool on an external tool that is on Excel, wherein the data exchange can happen between Tally and then it can move to the Excel tool where you can further slice and dice the data for your corporate tax filing. So there are 4 steps involved. That is, firstly, the exchange of your data from Tally to your Excel, and then trial balance and mapping. So where you map the individual categories, taxable income, non-taxable income, the revenue departments, or EBITDA, how much ever is allowed by the corporate tax regulations. And then your computation gets calculated automatically in the tool itself. And then finally, you'll be able to derive at the 9% CT that you're supposed to file to the department. So right here, we have the Excel. So can I switch back to the system, please? Yeah. So right here, the first you can see it gives you a basic, guidelines as to how and what the exact tool contains in both English as well as Arabic for your convenience. So the next is the structure. So this is defined as per the guidelines, that is by the department, all the different allowed adjustments, income, taxable ones, all of this is defined as per the CT. You can refer to the whole list of buckets that has been available here. Okay.
What's the relation between e-invoice and e-filing?
Sir, e-filing is for VAT specifically. And then CT tool is for corporate tax. Yeah, can you please?
Relation between e-invoice and e-filing.
Oh, okay. Sir, e-filing is primarily for your VAT return to flow to the Imara tax portal. But when it comes to e-invoicing, it's for every invoice a company generates, which is registered for VAT. As per the guidelines of FTA, which is public guidelines are released, but not the actual final regulations. So every company, whenever they generate an invoice, it must have a QR code generated by the system, which is unique from invoice to invoice. So that is what e-invoice means. And like in Saudi, we already implemented that. It also comes with 2 phases. First phase, the government told the businesses, you must have a unique QR code for all the VAT registered companies on every invoice. Phase 2 were wherein whenever you generate an invoice within the system, it has to real-time sync and exchange the data with the Zatka authority in Saudi. So probably something similar might come here as well, where all of your invoices that you generate with QR code, unique QR codes, must maybe sync with the Imara tax portal real-time in future. So that's the difference, sir. I hope that helps. Yes. So these are the buckets that have been defined by the FTA for the CT. So by clicking on data here, so all of my ledgers as per the chart of accounts that we have set in Tally appears here. But again, the numbers are empty, right? So how do we bridge both? So all you need to do is simply click on any of this particular field. On the right-hand side, if you click, there is a refresh button. So once you click on refresh, automatically Tally pulls all of the figures from your trial balance specifically. So many times when the data operator records a transaction, right, the elements might be missing from the balance sheet. There are a lot of discrepancies that could happen. So once you verify the closing balances of all of your ledgers, so which is why from your trial balance, the data will be fetched here. And you can see all of the figures are automatically fetched here. So next, you can go on to your input sheet, where you can see your basic company details, the company name, the starting period, periodicity, financial data, business revenue, all of it will appear here. And by taking the help of the experts, of course, then you will see how you can classify your business data. So these are the classifications. I'll just scroll down like this a bit. So these are the classification that has been defined, again, as per the FTA guidelines. So where you can classify all of your expenses, income, how much percentage it is allowed, how much it is not allowed, disallowed, all of that. You can map it as per the buckets that is defined here. And then if you come to the final sheet, that is your adjustment sheet, these are the points that you can refer to. And this is where your final CT calculations happens automatically. The tool doesn't, of course, automate the 100%. You need the experts, you need the experts on the subject matter to help you arrive at the 9%, and then again, verification, of course. But this automates at least 80% of the work. Great, right? So VAT, yes, we have a system in place where it takes from scratch to, like, right from your creating your tax invoices until you file your VAT, and then on the corporate tax, your chart of accounts, whatever the reports that are necessary for a business, be it small, medium, or large, you have the system in place to help you comply with that. So Tally Prime gives you all the data that you need to file your corporate tax. So this tool, it's not built within Tally, but definitely we can share it. Yes. Can we switch back to the PPT?
Just 2 minutes.
Yes, sir. Yes, please. I would like to invite sir as well.
There is some exemption now, CT tax. So
Yes.
when we are creating the ledger, how we will mention that exemption?
Sir, what is the exemption? If you
For
just
example, donation and charity, it's not will cover the.
Yes, sir, for those specific expenses and income as well, the buckets are already defined here. You need to choose under which category those fall under, and then as per the limit, that 60%, 40%, whatever the department has allotted, you can choose and mention that 60% value right there. The buckets are defined, you just need to map that. The system
See,
doesn't do automatically.
there are 70 odd articles in CT. So what we try to do is try to bind that into the tool so that you have the data. Then there is a column where he said mapping. In the mapping, you have to choose where are the exemptions and all those things. So the Tally will not give you a filing data, but it will help you with the data set which you can use for filing it. So the Excel tool designed to simplify your data requirement for VAT filing. So all the 70 articles, we try to, 70 odd articles, we try to link it there so that you can sit or like your CA, Chartered Accountants, they can get a handy data for CT filing.
So yes, any questions, please, more than welcome. Happy to help. Yes, sir.
Suppose in a group company, when the trial balance getting consolidated, so these rules will be applicated at that point. This data sets rules just shown.
Sir, I didn't get the question.
No. You mean to say group company trial balance
Yeah.
pulling here?
Yeah, at consolidation time.
I think it is possible. We can come back to you on that because a group company, ideally in Tally, it's a virtual company. Will not have any data. So group company means what happens, company A, company B will have a data, but company C is just a virtual company we create to consolidate a view. So I need to check this, but we'll come back to you on that. So group company P&L, whether we can pull or not, ideally should be able to do, but my only worry is the group company will not have any data. It just links and pull the information for you.
It's normally when A company has a loss and B company has a profit. So this can be in corporate tax filing time, it can be adjusted. So accordingly, certain expenses will be, certain parameters will be there to get adjusted.
Yeah, see, as I mentioned, in the tool, we can give a view of consolidations, but again, how you want to file it, again, it's not in the purview of the tool. But as I mentioned, we can give you a view of data. I mean, one is positive, one is negative. You want to have a consolidative view, right? I mean, the set of data you want. That probably we can pull and we can show you. But again, the next step would be with you and with the chartered accountants, how they want to set off. But data set, we can try to pull.
Okay. I have another doubt also. Suppose a company doing a business in a drop shipping pattern. So their invoice can we make in this Tally?
No, I didn't get it. Maybe probably he can help you on that. Yeah, you can go ahead. I think Raju sir can help you on that.
So multiple questions, we will pick it up.
Yeah.
See, drop shipment is basically an out of scope transaction we are talking about, right?
Yes, inventory will not be there.
Sorry, where? Perfect. So out of scope transaction, you have a different invoice types in Tally, which you can select and can be worked into. It's a commercial invoice.
So normally when the stock we have, from the theoretical stock, we can generate invoice from that.
Correct.
So in dropshipping case, there will not be any stocks. So without
There
stock,
will be a stock. So stock is out to out.
okay.
So when you're doing so there are two questions. One, what we do from an invoice sequence perspective. So there are different type of invoices which are there based on place of supply and location. You can create it. One is a commercial invoice. In this case, it should be a commercial invoice, not a tax invoice. And from a stock perspective, yes, there is a stock which is moving, let's say, from China to Africa. You can create it.
Okay, that option is available in
Yes.
Tally. So that should be customized or existing available?
No, existing available.
Oh, okay.
No, in the tool it's available.
Oh, okay.
That's a part of
I mean, overseas supplies or out-of-scope supplies, we do have that.
Okay.
So I use Tally, so from that perspective also it's fine.
Oh, okay.
See, in the CT, we get the ledger balance, not a transaction level balance. So that was I got confused because you will get only the trial balance consolidated figure. Yeah, any other questions? Yeah, the question was whether Tally, we need to split the data every year or whether it continue. So it depends on the business size. So if you're a single user, your data set is not that huge volume. We have shown you the security control. Even if you're a single user, one user, you can always create one admin user, one user for yourself. You can continue the same data for multiple years. So there is no, technically we don't need to split the data. But logically what happens is there are some people raised a hand of multi-user, more than one user. So the data size becomes more, your overall performance of the tool will get reduced. So that time we suggest you split the data every year. The opening balance will get carry forwarded automatically. Then you can continue with the set of data for the next financial year. So it depends on data size technically. And you can use the security control to secure your previous year's data if you're continuing with the same books of account.
Hello.
Yes.
I have again related to invoicing. I think there are some midwares coming in the market to submit all our invoice directly to government portal and then verify it and then go to the supplier, right? That is invoicing.
Yeah.
So in that role, if I have a Tally, then how I can compile this process through Tally? Is it possible, or I have to get another midware to communicate to the government authority? No, sorry.
So first, I think let's understand what is e-invoicing.
Yeah.
Take 2-3 minutes?
Yeah,
Yes,
definitely.
please.
Okay. So why we are having e-invoicing is the first question which we need to look at. So from a UI perspective, as rightly said, we don't have a final version, but there is a structure which has been brought up stating that all invoices from a certain period for a certain category of client has to be e-invoice compliant. So there are two aspects which UAE government is looking at. Point number one, the invoicing system should talk to FTA authorities. Two, there should be a QR code, or I'll use in a layman language, a unique reference number which is mentioned. Why they want to bring it up? To track what invoices you have issued and what input tax I am claiming. So there is a, as I discussed in the previous session also, there is something called missing trade fraud. That means you are claiming input tax, but I never issued the invoice. Who will verify that? So this e-invoicing system is built up to remove all those ambiguities and fraud sequences in between. So there are two things which comes into. Point number one, how the system is going to issue the invoice. Two, there is going to be an interface and fraud sequences in between. So there are two things which comes into. Point number one, how the system is going to issue a system with which will generate the QR code and send it back to the accounting systems or accounting records. So in this case, what will happen? There will be an interface between, let's say example, Tally and that midware company, which will throw a transaction, get back the reference number, and that reference number is get recorded in the Tally system. So that people is a center point which will come up at a different stage, and for what category, what values, we still are not very clear how this is going to happen. But technically speaking, there will be an interface which is approved by the authorities, which will be working it on. Hope this addresses the perfect.
Yeah. So just to add what Raju sir said, as a Tally, we are started working on this e-invoicing concept. It's actually, why I'll say concept is, still now it's not clear. I mean, when they're going live, which companies are subjected in the phase 1, because I think UAE is also coming with the phase-wise approach. So as a Tally, we started working on, as you mentioned, see, when two taxpayers recording a transaction, if you're purchasing, your TRN number is already in the purchase invoice. When you are selling, you put the TRN number of your customer. So that means that's where sync happens in the central server of FTA. So that is where we say invoicing will do a real-time input-output net off. So at the end of the month or quarter, when you're filing VAT return today, everything is manual. Going forward, the moment e-invoicing is there, your entire information will be captured automatically. So that's the difference between e-invoicing and the current structure what we have. Unfortunately, we cannot, get the questions properly. I think the speakers are forward.
A bit blurry in hearing. Any other questions?
Yeah. How many of you used dashboard in Tally? Anyone seen dashboards? You've seen? Very nice. Okay. See, we had just 1 hour to show, but there are so many things which will help you on day-to-day your operations. As we shown only a glimpse of it, there is a beautiful report which came recently. It's dashboard. So if you are using Tally, please go and explore it. It's a report which is, you can configure it and keep it for yourself. It could be an outstanding report, it could be a cash flow, it could be any specific reports you want a day-to-day, you want to view. You can keep it configured. It will give you a bird's eye view reports at a glimpse. Okay. Now recently we came up, in the morning there was bank reconciliation. How many of you do bank reconciliations? Wow. How many of you do auto reconciliations? Anyone? You do? Very good. In Tally, if you're using already Tally, there is a auto reconciliation facility we given for majority of the banks. Most of the top banks, auto reconciliations. When I say auto reconciliations, download bank statement in a format which is readable or writable, maybe Excel or a CSV format, which you can import directly into Tally. It will do two things for you. One is, it will reconcile the transactions. The other thing which is very important is, let's say for last 15 days, you're not done any bank entries. It's pending. It will import all the transactions for you. It will generate vouchers for you. You just reconcile and close. That's very simple. So it's a very beautiful feature. Go and explore, please, if you're using Tally. So likewise, there are many things, small, like here shown you go-to features and save views. These all will help you on your day-to-day processes. It definitely will cut down your overall process timings. We couldn't show you all those things, but if you want to further look into, we have a team here. Most of you are in touch with Munir sir, so we are working very closely with him. We can arrange a separate session for you in future. So thank you very much. Kapil, we can just take over.
Great. So how many of you thought that there were many features shown that you weren't aware of before? Can we just have a quick show of hands just to understand that how, how many of you did not know the functions that Mr. Praveen and Nandaraj spoke about? A quick show of hands, please. Amazing. So Mr. Praveen is our resident product expert. Even after we break for coffee, if there are any questions, please be sure to ask him. He'll be more than happy to take them up. We'll have a quick coffee break right now, probably for 20 to 25 minutes. It's 4 p.m. now, so we can reconnect at 4:25, 4:30. Thank you so much, and we'll see you again.
sorry, what's your good name? So, what do you do? Then what brings you here for
So there's an issue with the mic. He just needs 2 minutes. He's just refreshing the system. So
can we shoot? Or and try facing the camera. Yeah, perfect.
this mic is there?
Yeah, okay.
So, very good afternoon, Mohammed. So, just wanted to know what do you do?
Actually, I'm working as an accountant. Since 2017, I'm here as a resident. So I actually bring what I bring here. So I want to learn what is about the future AI, what is corporate tax about that also, because previous year 2010 I was study the Tally also. Beginning career I used to use Tally also. So I just want to know also what is the changes happen in Tally also. Just it's actually like refreshing moment also.
So, one thing what you are taking today back home after this learning couple of hours session, what have you learned today?
Actually, it's pulling to know the to details, whatever the things in the future, what is the account should be, especially AI, corporate tax, what are the things coming in the new changes in the accounting things. This all is the learning. Because we want to always upgrade as a person, as a career growth. If you want to grow in career, you have to upgrade your skill, your knowledge, everything. So it will help us. Also, I just want to explore more about AI in accounting field. That's it.
Perfect. Thank you so much for giving your time,
Welcome.
Mohammed. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, man.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'll. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh. Okay. So good afternoon, ma'am. Just wanted to know what do you do?
Okay. Hi, my name is Akhila. I'm an HR professional and with legal and accounts background.
Okay.
Yes.
That's That's perfect. Just wanted to know what made you attend this Fintaxtic 1000 event today?
Actually, I saw a video from Munir Al Wafaa sir, Instagram video, and I thought I'll come and attend this session. Yeah.
So one takeaway, what you're taking back home after this learning 8 hours today? What is the learning you're taking
Okay.
back home today?
Actually, I wasn't expecting this setup. It's really great, and Rajiv sir, he had a fantastic session, and also the Tally team. It's actually good to get to know about more information about this program.
So much,
Yeah,
Akhila,
thank you.
for your time. Thanks. start. Yeah. Thoda aise, very good afternoon, Anwar sir.
Hi.
So just wanted to ask you a couple of questions, sir.
Yes.
So what do you do?
I'm myself working as an accounts manager in a retail company.
Oh, that's great. So just wanted to know, sir, what made you attend this Fintaxtic 1000 event today?
I have seen this event will add some value in terms of corporate tax and tally features. So I have seen the advertisement, accordingly I just joined it.
Okay. So, sir, one key takeaway what you're taking back home after this learning hours. Can you?
Yes, well, I have seen this corporate tax. Mr. Rajiv sir has a lot of insights given how the compliance to be followed, and in terms of tally, what are the features in corporate tax, like the how the filtration of certain chart of accounts, the financial statement, how it can be based on the corporate tax matrices, how when they are designing the reports or the return filing time, the compliance, how it can be maintained. So those features I have seen in Tally in the latest version. It's very well decorated. I hope this will add some value when I'm going home. So I want to learn the product more actually.
Thank you so much for your time, sir. Have a good day.
Yeah, thank you.
Hello. Yeah. So, your good name?
Delvin.
Delvin. I'll ask you three questions. What do you do?
Okay.
Then, what made you join this event,
Okay.
Fintaxtic 1000? And what is the key takeaway you're taking back? 1 point on FintEdu, 1 point.
So I work in the anti-money laundering vertical. I work with a consultancy firm.
Oh, that's great. So, just wanted to know what made you join this event, Fintaxtic 1000.
Okay. So I know that corporate tax is something new that the UAE is coming up to, and I want to well acquaint myself with that. I saw that this is an event which is being talked of by Tally, by FintEdu, and I thought I wanted to be a part of it.
That's great. What's the one key takeaway you're learning today after this workshop?
So there's a couple of things actually. Obviously, the session is very keenly handled by Mr. Rajiv Hira, part of FintEdu. A lot of the concepts that he spoke about with regards to corporate tax are very easy to digest now, whereas earlier they were a little more complex. When it comes to AI, I think Al-Wafaa group were able to clarify that, make it easier to understand, help understand that it's not a battle against AI, but it's something that will be a good asset to us. And obviously, Tally, we've known about them for ages, and it shows that even after all this success, they're still incorporating things which are new. So all of the things that they've discussed today are very helpful takeaway.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Sir, also we need this mic.
Hello. Wait, this is coming.
We have two different cameras. ये एंगल ठीक है या कुछ
Foot. Oh, okay. It's fine. Fintaxtic 1000. The sole purpose of this initiative is enable 1,000 plus accountants, job seekers on UAE compliance, specifically corporate tax, and enhance them with a tool like Tally and AI.
टैली के बारे में बात करना
सर आप बात करो टैली के बारे में सो विल इंक्लूड 4 डिफरेंट टैली बोलते हैं तुम टैली
राजीव सर को सो टैली के बारे में टैली कैन बी यूज्ड from accounting to all the business process. It's a well-known SAP के वैसे बात कर सकते हैं.
तो रीडिंग भी होगा ना.
Sir, obviously Munir will be talking about his company. So
Top
I'm
Tally
planning,
के बारे में.
So what about the speaker? What will he be?
मैं
ठीक है. Excuse me.
So सही है.
सर थोड़ा पास रहिए ना.
ये ऐसा 2 मिनट मुझे लेट मी फ्रेम okay. With the help of the event Fintaxtic 1000 we were just sorry 2 मिनट. So yeah, Tally being a 4-decade-old company started as an accounting software. Now it's a complete ERP which has been widely used in SMEs where you can do anything and everything in company which can be used by any and everyone. If you talk about Tally, it's a well-known software in SME which we call it one for growth. If you start, if you take a software as an accounting software, but slowly, gradually, when your business is growing, it has a lot of module which is inbuilt. You can take maximum advantage of it. The highlight of the event is we have shown bank reconciliation, e-filing, e-return filing, then corporate tax filing. There are a lot of tools we have educated and shown it to people today. Rajiv sir.
So we had a great event today between Tally, Wafaa and FintEdu. And the objective was very simple, to educate people and take them to a new enhanced journey on the finance space. Just to give little perspective on FintEdu, we are into the partnering with various organizations and making sure that people upskill themselves on the finance and tax space and get into something new which they can use either from a new organization perspective or enhance the role what they are following it up. So do follow us on our LinkedIn page, on our Insta page, because we conduct a lot of free learnings, lot of learnings which can enhance your knowledge and bring you up the curve in the space. Had an amazing day, and I'm sure we are going to have amazing partnership in the future sessions also. Looking forward to see you online, virtually, physically, in all the forums which are going to happen. Thank you very much and have a great learning experience.
Thank you so much, sir. Yeah, it's done. One second. Munir sir is also coming, so we'll take his and wrap it up.
Hello, hello.
FintEdu and about Tally. So both the topics are covered apart from that.
Fintaxtic 1000, a true essential part of every accountant's or financial professional's lives. We are really proud to be associated with Tally and FintEdu. Wafaa Group is really breaking all the odds to bring in hundreds of financial and accountant professionals in this hall. Truly amazing sessions by Rajiv ji, and Tally's Praveen has remarkably done the sessions. And from my side, I've been talking about AI and its implementation in the financial side. Truly, we are excited and thrilled to have all these people. We have invited about, when we started inviting people, it was about 5,000 plus registrations, and out of that, lucky 120 people have gathered in this as per our norms and conditions. And since morning 10 a.m. till 6 p.m., this whole session was completely filled, and it was amazing responses from every single person. And thank you so much to Tally and FintEdu joining hands with Wafaa Group in bringing and making this dream come true. Thank you so much. Enjoy the event. Munir Wafaa with love.
Perfect, sir. Thank you so much.
Tally, yes. Tally being I think 3 to 4, I think almost 3. Tally being, I think, 3+ year decade-old company, wherein it's been a front frontier in terms of being a technology and especially compliance in GCC. Okay. Live. Okay. So wherein not just that compliance part, also when it comes to your accounting, automating, we discussed a lot of bank reconciliation feature, which many of the clients and users were very pretty astonished with, and they also asked like, how to do it and all. So that way I see Tally is not just an accounting software, but when it comes to your business compliance or automating your business solution in terms of every aspect, operation, accounting, inventory. So all of this, I think Tally comes on a very budget friendly manner, so that not just automates, but also you have a very good reputed company as well. So you just don't have a person coming, installing, and then moving away. You have somebody, you have a team, it's reputed, it's been for a decade, you can trust it. So that is a trusted solution, especially for SMEs, is what I think Tally is.
Thank you so much.
मुझे नहीं पता था live है भाई.
This is going live.
Hello. Welcome everyone. I'm guessing that coffee was really needed. I can see a lot of you have perked up and we're right here. I think we'll give another 2 and 3 minutes and then we'll start. So, yeah, looking forward to it.
Tally being a 4-decade-old company which simplifies your accounting and simplifies your business process. In terms of any business you are into, Tally can help you simplify your books of account with the help of inventory, accounting, security control, compliance, anything. It's one for growth which you can buy, one software when you buy, you can use it for a lot of features, what all business requirement you have. So with Fintaxtic 1000, we got an opportunity to highlight a lot of features like bank reconciliation, security control, edit log, analysis and verification tool. So that's all. Thank you.
Perfect. You got enough context.
Amazing. Welcome, everyone. Welcome back. I can see coffee is in hand. I can see everyone's ready for the next part of our workshop. But before we do that, I would just like to ask you all, if there was one word that you could use to describe this workshop so far, what would it be? Can I please hear the loudest word that you guys can think of? Anyone? One word to describe your experience so far. How has it been? Sir, you? One word to describe your time so far and this workshop so far. I need one word. This entire event so far. Sorry? Worthful. Okay. Anyone else? You, sir? Come on, there are no wrong answers. One word. Insightful. You? That, I'll be honest, that was the answer that I was looking for. I would do like 50 more answers till I found that one answer. So great. Now that we are having a Fintaxtic time, I would like to re-invite Mr. Rajiv Hira to continue.
How will I become audible? If I connect. So are you connected with us? Where? Physically, on LinkedIn, on our portal, where you are connected? Physically. So let's connect digitally also, because a lot of learning is there on the table. We stopped here as a natural person. Just a quick recap. I said 3 incomes are not going to be counted as a turnover for a natural person. What are those incomes? Salary, wages, second. Investment income, which includes dividend, capital gain, everything. Third, real estate, which is not licensed, right? All these 3 incomes, turnover is not going to be calculated for 1 million calculation. Example, if you have someone who is running a sole establishment and is having a real estate also, right? From a real estate, the rental income is coming for a year, 2 million dirham, but on a business, he is making only 300,000 or 400,000 as a top line, right? Do he require to register for VAT, for corporate tax? Answer is no, because on a turnover basis, I'm not going to count real estate. I'm only going to count business top line, which is revenue, which is less than 1 million. So he's not required to register. Are you with me? So the three things are not going to be counted from a corporate tax perspective for individual, which is natural person, which can be a sole establishment also. So all those things has to be looked into when you're assessing for an individual. What if I am having a large warehouse, right? And someone came to me and said, Rajiv, why don't you give 1,000 square feet to me for keeping my goods? I have a warehouse which is 20,000 square feet, and I'm not giving it to anyone. I'm using it for my business or third party or keeping the goods or whatever. So the individual came to me. He said, why don't you keep it? Give me 1,000 square feet. I'll keep my stock. Whenever I want, I will take it. Whenever I want, I will leave it. Is it a real estate income? First question. Is it a real estate income? Technically rental only for the area, but it is not. This is the category which is called right to use selling. You are selling right to use. There is no ijari in this. Hence it is not a real estate income. So be careful when you assess something as a real estate or a non-real estate. We need to be very clear in that articulation. Are we aligned? Perfect. Let's look at further. There are various types of persons which are being defined. Just maybe a catch to everyone. Towards the end of the session, there is a small poll which we are going to take. Please make sure your name and email ID is properly written, because that's where you get the certificate and the presentation also. Are we clear? So make sure your email ID is correct, because if that is not correct, you may not get the certificate and the presentation. Both will come in one go to your ID. So there are various legal persons being defined in the FTA portal itself. This is completely a copy of FTA portal. We have not done anything straight away from the FTA portal perspective. You can see there is a natural person, there is a legal person, incorporated, foreign entity, club, charity, federal government, Emirates government, others, partnership. All these are important to be categorized in the right way. If you categorize a sole establishment as legal person incorporated, in case FTA is generally rejecting those cases, in case it gets approved also, you will have a problem in reassessing your corporate tax return at a later stage. So this is the most important thing to look at, which category your organization, your company is to be registered. Very big difference between legal and natural person, because the tax structures are very different in both cases. Are we clear? So just a quick grab, natural person are individual and other natural person. What can be other natural person? I gave an example, you remember? Me and Pritesh has taken this property. No one said congratulations. We did such a big deal, right? So the income which is coming to us is whose income? My income, Pritesh income, or a company's income? My income, company income, or Pritesh? Me and Pritesh together. How you define that? Unincorporated partnership. So I am leaving this structures and all, which we'll look at. So you perfectly rightly picked it up. Unincorporated partnership. Something called transparent structure. What is meaning of transparent? See-through, right? So this partnership is treated as pass-through structure. That means transparent structure. I will see through who are receiving the income. Example, in this case, unincorporated partnership, me and Pritesh has earned rental, right? It will go through and distribute the income and expenditure in my and Pritesh ratio. Assume I am 60% owner, he has left, so I am making myself 60% owner, and he is 40% owner. So what will happen? Our income will be distributed in 60-40 and expenses also will distribute in 60-40. So all the income which has come to my angle, now who am I? Individual or company? Individual. Real estate is taxable in the hand of individual or taxable or exempt? For individual. Real estate, no license, so it is exempt. So the income which I earned from here is not going to be taxed the moment you put a transparent structure. You have a choice to make unincorporated partnership as a legal entity, but for that you need to go and take approval. In FTA, if I want to treat partnership as a transparent structure, no need for approval. But if I want to treat it as a legal corporate, I need to take an approval. So you can register with FTA, unincorporated partnership, and file the return under unincorporated partnership also. But this is a very interesting tool which a lot of organizations and a lot of large corporates are using to on the advantage from a tax perspective. Not only tax advantage, but other things are also part of it. I'll just go through that. So you looked at various conditions are there which has to be applied. In this case, clause 2 is the important condition which has to be applied. 1, you should be conducting a business as an unincorporated partnership. That means it should not be registered. So for having a joint property, do I need to register somewhere? Is it mandatory? No. So both individuals can join hands and create an unincorporated partnership. There is no question asked. Having the status, intention, and purpose of unincorporated partnership. So I want to carry the same thing. I don't want to make it incorporated at a later stage also. Holding assets that unincorporated partnership holds. In this case, what is asset? The building is the asset which we are holding. Being party to any arrangement to which unincorporated partnership is a party. So all these conditions, if they are met, this is treated as transparent structure, and that is where the benefit of transparency comes into play. But what is the main advantage which comes when we use this transparent structure? I'm going to talk very short period on that part. We have looked at all these points I've already given. Is when we incorporate something called foundation. How many of you know foundation, trust kind of structures? It can be for charity purpose also. But why we create foundation or a trust? What is the meaning of that? What is the benefit of that? We'll come to tax later on. But what is the objective of creating a foundation? For asset saving, social service. A lot of time we create it for non-social service also. Proper channel. Okay, I'll give some examples. Right now, the next generation which is coming, we don't know how they are going to utilize the money, which the father or the mother or the parents have generated. I want to give wealth to my family members, but I don't want them to have a control on the wealth. Right? What if I have assets of 100 million? Let's take a big number, right? If I have assets of 100 million and I give those assets to my family member, tomorrow what will happen to me? Am I right? So what I want to do, I want to make sure they get benefit, they enjoy it, but they don't have some of the rights which I want to control myself. So I created a foundation. In the foundation, me and my wife, we both become, I'm using some technical words, please understand that this is more important than corporate tax also. Me and my wife, we both become settler in that foundation. Settler means who settles their wealth into the foundation or a trust. In UAE, we'll use the word foundation again and again, right? So we brought 100 million into the foundation and we created a foundation. Now this foundation has beneficial owners. Who are beneficial owners? My family members, whom I want them to take the benefit. Remember the word we talked about beneficial ownership before also? The person who enjoys, who are the beneficial owners. but they are not the owners. I have various methods of creating a foundation. One foundation I am creating is, they have a right to enjoy the income, but they don't have a right to dispose the assets. 100 million value of assets may include investment in companies, may include investment in properties. Whatever income come, every year we'll distribute to them. But no one has a right to touch the asset till the time certain conditions are met. Are you with me? So in this case, there are two characters we talked about. One, settler, which is me and my wife. Beneficiaries, my family member. But I need someone to manage that. Correct? Like in company, you have directors. In this case, you have council members or guardians. So those council members or guardians are the directors of this foundation equivalent. Like in company, you have directors, you have council member or guardians which are part of it. If you have this structure, then you can apply to FTA to treat this foundation as unincorporated partnership. You need to apply. By default, it is considered as a company only, and it will be taxed as a company. But you have a choice to apply to FTA and say that we want to take a benefit of unincorporated partnership. Now, what is the benefit of unincorporated partnership? As I said, I created foundation for what purpose? Two purposes. To hold the companies where I have invested and to hold the assets, buildings, property, real estate, where I have invested. Both income in the individual's hand are exempt. You remember we talked about that. So if I create a transparent structure, what will happen? Let's say I earned as a foundation 10 million as a profit. Let's assume profit expenses are equal for the benefit of all. 6 million I received as a dividend from the company we have invested. Are you with me? And 4 million I received a rental on the properties which are held under the foundation. If I treat this as a transparent structure, the beneficial owners will receive the income. Correct? If beneficial owners are receiving the income and it is treated an unincorporated partnership, is investment income taxable in hands of individual? We discussed, right? 3 incomes are not taxable in hands of individual. So investment is not taxable. It will be out of the discussion and not treated as a turnover also. And second, rental income, will it be taxable? In individual hand, again, rental income is not taxable. So both income become out of context. So when you treat it as a transparent structure, nothing is getting taxable in this category, in this example. But certain conditions to be fulfilled. You cannot do business in foundation. It has to be a passive investment company. What is passive investment? And what is active investment? When you sleep and money earns, is passive. What are those passive income? Dividend income, passive. Rental income, passive. When you have to actually work, that is active income. Consulting, manufacturing, these are all active income. So this foundation cannot have any active business. It should be only a passive investment. That means they can invest in the other companies. All those things can be done. So you look at the conditions which are required. First, family foundation is established for identified natural person or identifiable natural person. What is the meaning of identifiable? What is the meaning of identifiable? I have only kids, but I want to make my grandkids also as recipient or a beneficiaries. I can write there my kids and future generation. That is identifiable at a later stage. They may not be there right now, but under the foundation you can put up those conditions. And for the benefit of public benefited entity, not for the corporate. No company can become a beneficiary. That is the first condition. Second condition, the principal activity is to only receive, hold, invest, disburse, or otherwise manage assets. And it should be only from a passive investment company. And you are not creating the foundation for the purpose of tax avoidance. You are creating the foundation for inheritance planning, other things, but not for only tax purposes. So if all these conditions are there, this tool is very amazing tool to get a benefit of no taxes. That means it is treated as an unincorporated partnership, get a transparent structure, and everything becomes tax-free. So this is where the foundation structure comes into play. Now, a couple of questions which people have asked me during the break and other places also. Non-deductible expenditure. What are the non-deductible expenditures? As I said, anything which is not legally paid may constitute a non-deductible expenditure. One example we talked about in the morning itself. You paid commission referral to someone who does not have a right to do business in UAE. Can it be deductible expenditure? Bribe kickback, is it deductible expenditure? Non-deductible, right? So one simple question came to me. Our office people go to the labor market, pick up labor from there, get them work in the construction sites, and evening they pay cash to them. Correct? Will you be able to get deduction of this? If they have work permit, under what? Under your, no, they are not in your company work permit. If they are, then you will not go to the labor market to pick it up. Morning you go to the labor market, get the labor, get the work done, evening, cash paid, finished. Second, you get a transport guy come to you, he will do work for you during the day. In the evening on the parcha, he will write 500 dirhams, you pay him 500 dirhams, he went off. Can you get a deduction? Do you have an invoice? First question. He may not be under the preview of a VAT, fine, no problem. VAT is not mandatory, but at least trade license is mandatory. At least the activity is mandatory. If not, how will you get a deduction? You tell me. How will you prove that you have not pocketed this cash in your pocket and paid to someone? First question. How will you prove that? Payment voucher? Who has signed that payment voucher? Who has signed that receipt? Where is the company name? Where is the trade license? Under what condition you made a payment? I'm asking simple question. You tell me. No, we'll go to deductible, non-deductible later on. But first question first. Had you given this money to someone? You prove me first thing. Difficult to prove? I'm saying simple things. See, normally you get a parchi or something which you get in the stationery shop as invoice, and you write a name which is also not readable and write 500 paid. How will you prove that you have paid this money? Some CDD has to be there, customer due diligence, with whom you are doing business. UAE is a very different market, please take it in that way. We are not allowed to have people do business without an adequate license. Adequate license includes a freelance visa also. That is also adequate license. But has to be documented something that they have an establishment, they have a visa, they have some activity to perform into. Otherwise, how will you prove it? Forget FTA, what they ask is different. As an accountant, will you be convinced that he has paid the money? Or that employee himself has made a voucher? I don't know. I'm not trying to say distrust them, but I'm trying to say how will you convince yourself and then the tax authorities? It's not? Multiple things. So answer is lying with us only. If these are the invoices, are we able to prove it? If not, please stop there and then itself. Since you are paying whatever you are paying, add 9% to the payment of that also. So this will become a non-deductible. So anything which is not related to business, which does not have a right supporting document, does not qualify for these expenses. A lot of time we get invoices from the owners saying that book up in the company. All the expense is done on a kitty party of spouse. Correct? So how will you claim that? Business expense? Business meeting? So that question has to be looked into. Various non-deductible expenditures. First, donation, grant, gift made to an entity that is not a qualifying public benefited entity. So there is a list of public benefited entities. If you give donation to them, then only it is allowed. Otherwise, since you are giving anyway donation, add 9% also. That means this is non-deductible. So if you are giving 100 donation, consider you are paying 109 and treat it that way. Become a non-deductible unless it is a entity which is registered under public benefited entity. Fines, penalties, non-deductible. Any fine penalties you pay is non-deductible. Bribes or other illicit payment. So this is what the example, if you remember in the morning, doctor, illicit payment. Not allowed as per law. Bribe. Sir, we have to get a contract, so we paid something to someone. It's a bribe, kickback. Okay. Invoices issued to the spouse of the person who is working in X organization. Comes under the category of kickbacks, bribes, not deductible expenditure. Dividend, profit distribution or benefit of similar nature paid to owner of a taxable person. When you pay dividend, post-tax, correct? Profit, tax, whatever is left is the dividend income. That is anyway coming after tax only, so don't take it before tax. That is where it comes into. Amount withdrawn from the business by natural person who is a taxable under paragraph C of clause 3, 11 of decree law, or a partner in an unincorporated partnership. So we discussed in the morning also, sole establishment owner cannot withdraw any money as a salary because there is no differentiation. It comes as part of non-deductible expenditure. Any corporate tax you pay, by default, corporate tax is after the P&L line item. Input tax, which is recoverable. Small input tax, sir, we don't claim. Okay, don't claim. In the corporate tax also. Small input tax you receive. So in generally what we do, we take all the value into the P&L. We hit directly to P&L. Let's say example, your boss came, he has a coffee with somewhere else for 100 dirhams. So 105 was the invoice. So what you do? 105 goes to P&L? No, you cannot do that. 100 will go to P&L, 5 in different head, input tax not claimed, and this is not deductible under the corporate tax. Unless it does not have a provision to allow you to claim the input tax, is fine. But wherever you can, you should, and if you are not, don't claim the benefit under corporate tax also. So one general ledger you have to create, input tax eligible, not claimed. It has to be added back. Yes. 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 Either you take the benefit. Correct. So you cannot take a choice of not claiming input tax. If you are taking a choice, then take a choice of corporate tax also. But the important part is how will you get that number? No one has generally those ledgers. Input tax not claimed. Everything goes to P&L. So that differentiation is the most important thing. We found it difficult with the clients to identify this value. Right? Otherwise, we have to pick up all small invoices which we said we are not going to claim and identify that value. So it's a difficult thing to do. Tax on income imposed on the taxable person outside the state. Anything which is paid outside the state, you cannot take a deduction. And such other expenditures specified in the cabinet decision. There are various decisions has been come up, and we are going to talk about that. Are we clear? Any questions? Referral. So his question is as simple as that. In business, we have to give referral fee. What should we do? Non-deductible. And technically speaking, in a lot of cases, we may be non-compliant to other law also. Example, if I myself had paid a referral fee to someone for 500,000, right? he is required or she is required to issue me a tax invoice with VAT? Am I right or no? Am I right or no? 500,000 is a referral fee I am paying to an individual who is not registered in any company, no freelance visa also. Am I required, he is required or she is required to have a VAT number as per law? If they don't have, and I myself is absorbing 500,000 value of referral to them, am I not breaching the law again along with them? Yes? So that is where the challenge is. 10, 20,000, fine. But if it is not a registered company, it's a non-compliance from that perspective also. First times, there is no differentiation between first time, second time. No, VAT is fine. Had this individual has a permission to do that activity is the first question. Correct? So that has to be looked into. So a lot of people are doing business, in some cases we identify, where they are not allowed to. In UAE, you cannot do any business without a license. And tax authorities and various other things are coming up again and again. Even for social media also, you need to have this license, that license, all those things we are listening, right? That is coming as part of it only. Are we aligned? Any other question? Everyone getting excited. What, Rajiv, you are saying? Tomorrow I'll have a fight with my bosses. Don't have a fight. Have a logical discussion. Have a logical discussion. Is it allowed? As per you, does it make sense? Why someone is paying 30,000, 20,000 dirhams for taking license and why the other is not paying? Why? Is there a logic or no? So it has to be evaluated in that way. Solution is there. Coffee time is over, but around 6 o'clock we'll talk solution. So let's come to free zone. How many of you operate in free zone or operating from free zone or for entities who are operating in free zone? Raise of hands. Only 4 or 5 people. We'll do a private session. Other people are not interested in free zone. Anyone interested in free zone? Then fine. Then I will talk. Otherwise, I thought we can do a private session. You understand this? Just a broad perspective. Unless we don't get the point of custom suspension, duty paid, we are not understanding the free zone in a right way. How many types of free zone are there broadly? How many types of free zone are there? Perfect. Broadly we can say designated free zone and non-designated free zone. Designated, which are approved by FTA under VAT framework, saying that these are designated free zone. Why those are designated free zones? Why those are designated free zone? No, which is fine. Business boost and all we have discussed in the first session. Because they are in the custom boundary. Any designated free zone, you will see there will be a border. You cannot go inside easily, you cannot come outside easily, right? Why they put up borders? So that goods which are moving are tracked for custom payment. I'll give one simple story to you. One day, a gentleman came in a bicycle and having a bag of sand at the back of the bicycle, and he was taking out the bicycle. The custom guy stopped him. He said, "Where are you going?" He said, "Sir, just a sack of sand I'm taking out." He looked at it, put his hand also to identify there is nothing. He's hiding in the sand and taking out. And he found nothing. He said, "Okay, go." Next day again, same thing happened. He came with the sand box. He said, "What is this?" Second day, third day, fourth day, fifth day, 10th day. He got worried. He said, "What's happening? Every day he's coming with sand. What he's exporting? Sand is not something to be exported, right? We have everything in the city also." You know what they identified? He was taking the cycle out every day and people were focusing on sand. So that is where we need to look at how the transaction is manipulated in a lot of cases. So this is the whole story, and there are various definitions which are there in the free zone activity. One is qualifying income, free zone person, qualifying free zone person. So these are the definitions which they have provided, and the first definition says a designated and defined geographical area which is approved by the ministers is defined as a free zone. Anyone who is operating in that designated area is called free zone person. And any free zone person who is doing the activity which make them get 0% benefit are considered as a qualifying free zone person. There are conditions which are there to be Article 18, which has to be met. Now there are broad conditions which has to be looked into when we call someone a qualifying free zone person. That means they are doing the activity in a right way. So any free zone person will not get a benefit of 0%. They need to comply to these conditions minimum. And these conditions are not or, they are and. That means all the conditions has to be met. Are you with me? First condition, maintain adequate substance in the state. So remember we talked about substance in the morning? Economic substance. That means you need to have an office. You need to have people. You need to have assets, minimum, to run this kind of a company. Sir, I have a free zone company license. Okay, who sits there? No, it's a flexi desk. Who sits there? I have not seen the office also. Do you have any visa? Yes, 2 people have visa. They are sitting in my mainland office. Is substance met? Substance met? Visa is there, but do they have office? Flexi desk is there. Are they operating inside the free zone? How will FTA know they are operating inside or outside? That's a question which a lot of people ask, right? How will they know? They know everything. First answer. If they want to know you are sitting in this room, will they know or not? If they want to know you are sitting in this room, the government, authorities, do they know or not? How you came? Either with your car, and car is tagged to your Emirates ID, and Emirates ID is tagged to you. Correct? Or you came in your, whatever method you used, if authorities want to know, they know where you are. So one question which I keep asking people is, okay, you have a free zone in other Emirates, let's assume ABC Emirates, not Dubai, and people have vehicle sitting in UAE, people are based in Dubai. How will you make sure you were visiting in that office to operate it? Multiple questions. Don't get into how will they know, they will know. That's a first point to start with. So you are not maintaining a substance if you are not operating from that office in the free zone. You have to operate from that office. You cannot make people sit in the mainland, and I'll tell you why I'm saying that also in a short span. Second, derives qualifying income. We'll look at that very shortly. There is one more condition. As I said in the previous session, in a free zone person, if you are having a qualifying income and non-qualifying income, there is no threshold of 375,000. But if you believe, I cannot get into this compliance, I just want to ensure that I pay taxes and I get a benefit of 375,000, then under Article 19, you can go and say, I am going to pay tax as per normal company, not as a free zone company. Then you get a benefit of 375,000. Let's say my income itself is 300,000. Why I get into a free zone and story and all that stuff? My top line is less than 3 million. Why I'm getting into this? I'll get a benefit of small business relief for a couple of years. Why I'm getting into this? So I straight away go and say that I am not taking a benefit of free zone, but I will pay taxes under the normal condition. The moment you say that, you have to keep saying that for next 4 years also. Are you with me? The moment I come out of the benefit of 0%, not that year, 4+ years, that means total 5 years, I will not be able to take the benefit of free zone company. That means I will keep paying the taxes based on the normal regime whatever income and expenses comes. From the 6th year, I can reassess myself, but not for 5 years. This year plus 4 more years. Next comes complies to Article 3455. That means arm's length principle, transfer pricing has to be applied. Why? Because you're sitting in a free zone. If you don't apply, you have a tendency of showing more profit where? In the 0% company, which is free zone, and more expenses where? In the mainland. So to make sure that we don't manipulate the stuff, this is important. And further, 2 conditions which are prescribed by ministers, which is 1, audit is mandatory. If you want to take a benefit of free zone, audit is mandatory. Second, you need to comply with the de minimis condition. Now, de minimis is also very interesting where a lot of people are losing the benefit. There is a condition of qualifying and non-qualifying, right? We discussed. Except for few activities, if non-qualifying income becomes more than 5% of the top line, non-qualifying income becomes more than 5% of the top line, revenue I'm talking about, now I'm not talking profit, then you lose the benefit of full structure from a free zone perspective. Example, my top line is 1 million, right? And non-qualifying is 200,000. 200,000 is what percentage of 1 million? 20%? I lose the benefit of full income. It's no more the ratio of qualifying versus non-qualifying. So if you turn around and check your non-qualifying income is more than 5%, you lose the benefit of full free zone and you will not be able to enjoy any of the benefits. Are you with me? So this is the condition which comes into one more condition which is in red, very interesting condition. Remember we talked about any foreign entity, if it is controlled from UAE, become a resident of UAE. A foreign entity, if it is controlled from UAE, become a resident of UAE, right? What if my subsidiary is in the free zone and I'm controlling that foreign entity from the free zone? Can I take the benefit of free zone? Foreign entity is controlled by a subsidiary of that foreign entity and that subsidiary is in the free zone. Can I take a benefit of a free zone for the foreign entity? Answer is no. If any foreign entity by virtue of control brought up into the UAE as a resident person, it by default becomes a taxable and under the category of technically a mainland company. They will not get the benefit of any free zone. There's a lot of drawback which is there on this, and we'll talk on that as we move along. So conditions, there are multiple conditions. I will get into very specific activity. How many of you are expert on VAT? Experts on VAT. Okay. No VAT. Little bit, only 1%. We need to have a VAT class also then. See, from a VAT perspective, morning I think a lot of people have told us, if you are doing a free zone to free zone transaction, there is no VAT being applied. Are you with me? Correct? So let's say if I transfer goods, okay, let's forget it. Let's start with a story. Story is better. All of you travel outside UAE? Yes? Next time when you travel, go and check how the people are invoicing in the airport. When you buy a computer or a laptop or any electronic item, do they charge VAT to you when you are exiting the country? Do they charge VAT? No. Anything beyond the custom control is what I am talking about. After custom control, if you see electronics activities or electronic items which are sold, they are generally not with VAT, but if you take a burger or a food item, VAT is charged. What is the reason? Consumption versus non-consumption. When you are taking electronic goods, can you consume it there? Technically, it is considered as an export of goods. Hence, taxes are not charged. But when you take food, generally you are going to consume it there. Sometime I take my home also. but generally you are supposed to consume there. That is where VAT is a consumption-based tax. VAT is a consumption-based tax. So where you consume, you pay the taxes there. That is why on export, the taxes are 0%, not charged as 5%, because there is no consumption happening in UAE. Similarly, what I did, I imported coffee beans from Africa continent to UAE. Are you with me? Coffee beans imported into UAE in my Javza warehouse. Do I need to pay any VAT on this? Okay, let me ask first question. Do I need to pay any custom duty on this? No. Why? Because goods are in the custom bonded area, Javza. Javza is a custom bonded area. So I'm suspending the custom to be paid. Are you with me? So far, no custom duty, hence no VAT will be charged. I use those coffee beans to toast it, roast it, and grind it and make it a coffee powder. Correct? Do I need to pay any custom duty now? If I'm not selling right now, I just grind it, toasted in my own warehouse, everything is done. So not sold, no custom duty because I'm not taking goods outside. I made sachets of 100 grams. Out of these 100 gram sachets, I'm exporting some sachets to Sharjah Airport Free Zone Authority company, which is also a designated zone. So company is selling goods from one designated zone to another designated zone. Do we need to pay custom duty? No, subject to condition. Goods should move under the custom suspension from one location to another, should not open the package in between. Anything transferred between Javza to Davza should be under the seal condition. All those conditions are there, no custom duty is applicable, no VAT will be applied. Correct? I sold a couple of coffee beans to a Javza entity, which is another Javza entity in the Javza itself. Do I need to pay any custom duty? Again, no, but I need to make sure goods move from my custom suspension to the buyer's custom suspension records. Aligned? Now, a twist. I have a coffee shop in Javza itself under the food court where we sell coffee to people, coffee cups to people for drinking, right? When I transfer this coffees from my warehouse or my production to my shop, which is selling coffees, do I need to pay custom duty and VAT? Possible, right? But who will pay the custom duty? The manufacturing company or the coffee shop? Depends. Who is importer on record? The word which is used is who is importer on record. Who will give their import code to the custom authority? The moment you give an import code to the custom authority, that becomes an importer on record. And the moment you import the goods in UAE and pay the custom duty, by default, VAT will get triggered in your FTA portal under box number 6. If you know the boxes, box number 6 is import of goods. That is where goods are imported and will be reflected. So this is where things are very important to understand. So far, your goods are transacted outside the scope of VAT. It is generally outside the scope of corporate tax also. The moment you pay custom duty and you are selling taxable goods from the free zone also, it by default becomes a taxable for corporate tax also. So there is a very connecting linkage between customs. The moment custom is paid, VAT will stand. The moment VAT is paid, corporate tax also may stand. Some conditions are there which need to be looked into. Are we aligned? So this is where a lot of conditions are there which is considered as consumption. In free zone, if you are consuming the goods, you end up paying taxes. As I said, coffee is consumed inside the free zone, but still I am paying taxes. Correct? But if I am using parts and consuming it to make a car, am I really consuming the goods? No, I am using those goods to manufacture something which is sold under the tax regime. That's perfectly fine. There is no VAT also charged in this, and corporate tax also may not be getting charged in these conditions. There are very interesting aspects. We talked about these scenarios. This is a recap of the coffee. All examples and framework is given, which is what I just told a story to you in 5 minutes. Please. Perfect. What is the difference between zero and out of scope? First, let's understand. Zero input tax is taken care of. Under out of scope, you cannot. You can. Exempt, you cannot. So let me difference now into zero, out of scope, and exempt. There are three things. Right? What is exempt income under VAT? What? Export of goods? No, it is not exempt. Rental income from residential building, which is not the first sale. Yes, it is exempt. Any interest income or margin-based product is exempt. Land, bare land is exempt. So these are exempt income. Under, no, government project, no. No, they are not exempt. We'll come to that. So under exempt income, you cannot take a benefit of input tax and you are not required to register also. Aligned? Aligned? You are not required to register also. There is no threshold check, 375,000 for exempt income. Zero rated is when we do a transaction which is defined under the law as zero rated. Law, how they have defined under VAT, they have defined these are zero rated activity, these are exempt. Correct? And they have provided a condition of place of supply. If all those conditions are checked, anything other than that becomes an out of scope transaction. Out of scope transaction, let me define first zero rated. Zero means I have purchased goods by paying taxes in UAE and I export them. What is this? Since I purchase the goods with 5% VAT, I need to take input tax. When I export, it is considered as zero rated. Are you with me? School, zero rated, exempt. Primary education, zero exempt. Zero exempt. Zero, because I am taking a benefit of input tax. Primary health care, zero exempt. Zero rated, because hospitals are taking benefit of input tax. These are zero rated. Now coming to out of scope. I purchased the goods from China and sold to Africa. China to Africa, third port shipment. Do I need to, is there any input tax? Is there any output tax? This is an out of scope transaction. This is an out of scope transaction. But in out of scope transaction, if you are having expenses which are done to do that out of scope transaction, you can claim input tax on that. Subject to, you are registered for VAT. So I'll give an example. I do third port shipment primarily, but I have a couple of transactions which are 0 or 5% amounting to 500,000, which is beyond 375,000. That means I am required to register for VAT. My office rent itself is 5 million. My office rent is 5 million. From there, I am managing out of scope transaction, third port shipment and everything. Can I claim benefit of input tax on 5 million rent? I can. Because the law says you can claim an input tax on out of scope supplies had those transactions, if being conducted from UAE, is subjected to tax. If I don't do a third port shipment and I bring the goods from China to UAE inside and I export it, what will happen? How the transaction will be taken? When I import, what I need to do? RCM. When I export, it will be zero rated. If I do transaction in this way, will you give benefit to me on input tax? Will you give? So law is saying don't bring the shipments only for taking input tax. Will give you the benefit of input tax. That is where the framework comes into play. Clear? We'll look at more examples also. Now, from a law reading perspective, law has to be read in 4 angles. How you are going to read the law? First, what you read? Law, ministerial decision, cabinet decision, or FTA decision? First, what you read? Law. First, you will read the law. Next comes the cabinet. Below that comes the ministerial decision, and below that comes the FTA decision. That's a sequence of reading. So that is where it comes into. And from free zone perspective, there is one cabinet decision and there is a ministerial decision. Both have to be looked into for benefit of arriving at what need to be looked in. These are very specific decisions which we have brought up for your angle and to review it out. Now, these are a couple of examples. So I was talking about, example you said, if someone has a visa but operating from mainland, what will happen, right? Correct? I have a free zone company, but we are taking all the decisions from mainland. All the team on the free zone visa are sitting in the mainland. It will trigger a domestic permanent establishment. That means that individual who are sitting in the mainland, all the income related to that will be subject to 9% tax straight away. So if you create a substance also by showing whatever you are showing, still all the income become taxable by the virtue of permanent establishment. So these are little enhanced version of how the free zone is getting operated. You cannot work in the mainland by any employees of the free zone, not even from your house also. If you are operating from your home also, that is also considered as a permanent establishment because you are taking constantly decisions in that location, which is not a free zone. Any work you do outside the free zone is subjected to tax. Only inside the free zone is where you can get a benefit of. Here, there are a lot of definitions are given, and there is one definition which is important to pick it up and understand, which is a commercial property. Commercial property has various definitions under VAT and very different definition under corporate tax. Corporate tax says, one, immovable property or part thereof used exclusively for business or business activities, only commercial property. Not used as a place of residence or accommodation, which includes hotels, motels, bread and breakfast. Hotels is what's considered in the VAT side, commercial or residential? Hotels are considered commercial or non-commercial? Commercial in VAT, in corporate tax, they are not considered commercial. So that means a hotel in a free zone will not get any benefit of qualifying income. They are treated as par to any hotel which is outside. So any labor camp, any bread and breakfast, any hotel, anything to do with activity is not considered as a commercial property. So hence the definition in respective law has to be read to understand the law perspective. Designated zone, they are using the same definition what is there in the VAT law from a corporate tax perspective in the free zone. Next comes, now there are various, broadly two kind of income which are there. One, where I am selling to a free zone or I am providing services to free zone to free zone transaction. We need to look at this should not be an excluded activity. If I am a free zone company, I am providing services to another free zone company, will it be qualifying income? Yes, no? Yes, no? It will be, but there are some buts which are there. First, you cannot sell to anyone who is a natural person. I'm in a free zone, I cannot sell to any natural person from the free zone. B2B sole establishment is also B, but it comes into the natural person definition. If I'm doing a business with a non-free zone person, then I need to look at two lists. One, it should be qualifying and it should not be exempt. Both conditions has to be looked into when you are doing a free zone to free zone activity. I will straight away go to one action here before we come back. Perfect. So if you're doing a free zone to non-free zone, there are certain activities only which are allowed to be treated as qualifying income. One, are you a manufacturer of goods? No problem. You manufacture, sell, it is considered as a free zone activity. Are you processing the goods or material? No problem. It is considered as a qualifying income. Are you trading in qualifying commodities? No problem. Holding of shares? Not a problem. Ownership management of ships, reinsurance services, fund management, wealth management, headquarter, treasury, financing, distribution, logistics, these are considered as a qualifying income. If your business is any of these category and you are providing services to another entity which may not be a free zone, no problem, you will get a benefit of a 0%. But you should not be dealing with any natural person except for conditions where the natural person has a deep pocket. Which are deep pocket business? Okay, if someone is managing ship, who can manage ship? A common person or a high net worth individual? Aircraft, that is also not a problem. Wealth management or fund management. These four income can only be provided to a natural person. Otherwise, any natural person income will take you out of the free zone benefit. One example, someone was asking me, we have a car selling company in the free zone. Correct? Car, they do a trading in cars, but they sell to natural person, those cars. The moment you bring natural person in trading activity, you lose the benefit of a free zone. This is the most important thing to be looked at. All the transactions between free zone to free zone are only exempt unless they are not included in this excluded activity. So just a quick summary before we close the session. Any transaction between free zone to free zone, you need to look at this list. It should not be in this. Any transaction with free zone to non-free zone, you need to look at first this list. It should be included and should not be excluded in this. For free zone to free zone, one list has to be looked excluded. For free zone to non-free zone, included and excluded, both lists has to be looked at to identify whether you are getting a benefit of 0% or not. Having presence in free zone will not take you a benefit of a 0%. That's what is the most important thing. And for trading activity, only designated zone is the place where you can operate and do transactions which are qualifying free zone person benefit and should be in the designated zone only. Third port shipment is only allowed if you are in a designated zone and doing a transaction. Free zone, not allowed. Third port shipment benefit you can only get in designated zone, not in any other free zone. With this, I'll close my session. Any questions? One or two questions we can take before we wrap it up. Simplified invoice purchased. Fine. I got a goods from, I purchased something from Carrefour, Lulu or something, right? Now, what is the question? You can claim VAT. You can claim VAT. In all these organizations, if you go and register yourself once, next time whenever you come and give your mobile number, they will issue the invoice also with VAT number and your company name also.
If it is a small retailer, not regularly we are purchasing like Carrefour or Lulu.
You have to just prove that this is for the purpose of business. No problem in claiming VAT on that. If it's a small retailer also, you can always create a monthly record with them. Pay advance, tell them after end of month, give me one invoice with full details. He will be able to do it.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Perfect. Thank you very much. That's it from my side.
Rajiv, so there's one question.
Yeah, sure.
Want to know about that realization method.
Perfect. You asked me a question. So what is the real, there is something concept which is used as cash basis accounting and realization basis accounting. Up to 3 million of top line, you have a choice to use cash basis or realization basis. Cash basis accounting, when I get cash, it's my income, nothing on accrual basis. I sold goods today, but I had not received the money. It is not sales. This is cash basis accounting. But coming to realization basis, you have an FTA has given an option. You can use a realization basis method for claiming and paying the taxes. Example, I have a property, land and building. Every year I do a fair value calculation. Based on fair value calculation, property prices may go up or come down, correct? I have a property in my books for 10 million. When I did a valuation, I found the property value has come to from 10 to 11 million. Are you with me? 1 million come as profit in the financials. 1 million will come as a profit in the financials or other comprehensive income, whatever category. Do I need to pay tax on that? If I don't use realization basis method, I need to pay tax on that. The moment you select realization basis, that means when you sell the property, only at that time you're going to pay tax. Other things you will do a calculation adjustment in your P&L itself. Correct. Gains or losses from any of the capital assets, you can take a choice that I will only pay taxes when we realize, that means sell the asset, not because of the price fluctuation on account of valuation. That's a realization basis method which will come in. In the first return, you have to say, are you using realization basis method? And are you using a realization basis method for capital asset and capital liabilities? Then no further document is required, but whenever you sell, actually, that time you have to pay corporate tax. Correct? FSV basis or capital asset. So both are into the similar category. You're only looking at a capital basis or you're looking for all assets. The moment you select, you don't have a choice in the next return. You have to follow the same indefinitely. There is no reversal of this choice. Revenue recognition. Construction companies, revenue recognition. You use IFRS method? Okay, very simple. There are two kinds of assets which come for a construction company. One, investment assets, and one, trading, or you can say normal construction asset. Construction asset, you don't have a choice. It's not a capital assets. You have to follow IFRS and pay taxes accordingly. We'll discuss more if required post this session.
Sir, we have last question.
Yeah. What's the threshold of revenue if we want to audit the corporate tax for the business?
From an audit perspective,
yeah,
you are a free zone company, non-free zone company?
Non-free zone company.
Non-free zone company, 50 million.
50 million. So it should be audited by the audit company that is registered in UAE?
Correct.
It should be.
Not anyone who is registered outside the country.
So if we are filing by ourselves, what all reports we should keep it? Like balance sheet, profit and loss statement?
Full audit report will come. Balance sheet, profit and loss, schedules, auditor statement, qualified, non-qualified audit report, full statement will come.
If we are filing by ourselves, then what will be the reports we should maintain?
You should maintain, audit report will be maintained.
No, if the threshold is below 50 million.
50 million, below 50 million, management accounts are mandatory. You should not be a free zone company.
Okay.
For free zone company, audit is also mandatory. Otherwise, management accounts are enough for you to keep with yourself. All vouchers, all sales, purchase, documents which you have claimed, everything has to be maintained.
Thank you.
Small business relief also, you need to maintain at least the top line revenue documents. How will you prove tomorrow that you were below 3 million or above 3 million? Definitely. This is an option in portal whether to upload the return or not. Sorry, upload the financials or not. But definitely it's required to mandatorily keep it with yourself. It may be asked anytime. In some cases we have seen where people have filed SBR, the FTA has put up a inquiry that send us the financial statement. It's required by tax authorities. Again, the thresholds are there. 200 million, if you have at a top line, all transfer pricing perspective. From a trade perspective, anything more than 40 million. And from a connected person perspective, more than 500,000. You need to have the documents. Arm's length principle calculation has to be done for everyone. External benchmark reporting, if it is required, it's mandatory. You may have internal benchmark also. If you don't have an internal benchmark, then you need to keep it. Anything more than 40 million, you need to define what method you have used to arrive at transfer pricing from the reporting perspective. There is a schedule which has to be reported the moment 40 million plus of related party transactions comes into play, or 500,000 of connected party transactions comes into play.
I can see a lot of intrigue and a lot of questions coming our way, and that's really always exciting for us. But before we continue with that, I want to also take us through a very important part of this workshop. And this is the part where you help us do better things and become better, which is the feedback that we would require from you all. I would really request everyone to scan the QR code and help us with a few questions. I promise this won't take more than 10 minutes. By any chance, if you can't get to the form, Yusuf sir from our team will be helping you with that. This will really help us know what your thoughts are and design a much better session the next time. So please scan the code. And I also want to know, is there anyone who could share their feedback with us live? We would love to hear that. If there's anyone who could volunteer and let us know, perhaps the gentleman in the green t-shirt or anyone, it'll really mean a lot to us. Can everyone get the form, or does anyone need help? Also, a quick note, the details that you fill in this form will help us get the certificate to you. So your name, your email, your other details would need to be accurate. Hence, I request everyone to log on to the form, scan the QR code, and help us with the feedback along with your email IDs, please. Yusuf, can you also check if anyone would like to share live feedback with us? Awesome, thank you. Great. Are we close to done with the feedback forms, or do we need a little more time? Done? Close to done? Amazing. So while we're nearing the end of the session, we're not quite done yet. We have a few more things planned that'll make the session even more interactive. But before that, or rather for that, I would like to invite Mr. Munir Al-Wafaa, CA Rajiv Hira, and Mr. Nandraj Shetty to the stage, please. And also, a big round of applause for everyone here, including our guests.
Hi. എങ്ങനെയുണ്ടായിരുന്നു? How was the day? Useful? Fruitful? With a purpose? You're happy? I'm really happy to see all the smiling faces because, you know, a long day since 9:30 till 6, sitting in one stretch and listening to such a tough subject. It's amazing. Rajiv ji, you have done a great job. A big round of applause to Rajiv ji. I need your sincere feedback from maximum people possible, please. Give the mics to them, please. Camera.
This day is special
If you
day
don't, if you can't speak in English fluently, no problem. You can speak in Malayalam. That will bring out the best out of your feelings and emotions.
വളരെ നല്ല എക്സ്പീരിയൻസ് ആണ്. എൻ്റെ ജീവിതത്തിലൊരു നല്ലൊരു ദിവസമായിട്ട് തന്നെ ഇന്ന് ഞാനിത് കണക്കാക്കുന്നു. പ്രത്യേകിച്ചിട്ട് ഒരു ദിവസം കൊണ്ട് തന്നെ 3 കാര്യങ്ങളെക്കുറിച്ച് നമുക്ക് ഏറെ പഠിക്കാൻ പറ്റി. ടാക്സിനെ കുറിച്ചിട്ടും ടാലിയെക്കുറിച്ചിട്ടും അതുപോലെ തന്നെ AI-യെക്കുറിച്ചിട്ടും എല്ലാവരും നന്നായി തന്നെ ക്ലാസ് പ്രസൻറ്റ് ചെയ്തു, മനസ്സിലാക്കാനും പറ്റി. എൻ്റെ പേര് അബ്ദുറഹീം. I am from Royal View Restaurant, Dubai.
Thank you so much. That was awesome. Next. Anyone else? Randomly you can.
Sir, why not you? You have
you can,
the
please.
best questions, sir.
Please feel free.
Please.
My name is Azad. I'm from Ras Al Khaimah, working in a construction company as an accountant. So the session was really useful, and you know, it is a complex topic that we have gone through. Apart from, you know, in corporate tracks, we can't take it in a simple sense because it's based on judgmental type. So Rajiv sir has simplified it and give a what we say, that is inside one bottle we can get, no? That is for if we feel some nutritions, taking some separate nuts, while it's grind it and drink, how, like that he simplified the concept into it. And also regarding the use of the AI and also the software technical support, Tally, they give latest updates. So for the upcoming year regarding that e-invoicing also, that is which is already implemented in KSA Saudi, that is Zakta, that is Fatura system. So for that also the Tally, they had given us a clear picture. And also that AI that learn every day, that is we should utilize some moments. That is we have spending our time in Instagrams or social media, even that is not useful for us, but we are spending. But at least use some 10 minutes or 15 minutes per day, like a routine. That is, we are doing routine works in our accounting works. That is daily posting the ledgers, journals, like that. Same way, spend some time, you make it useful for your improvement of the knowledge. So that's all. Anyway.
Thank you so much. That was awesome. Next, anyone else? Please come forward. നിങ്ങൾക്ക് പറയാനുള്ളത് 2 വാക്കുകളൊന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ it will be നന്നായിരിക്കും.
My name is Mohammed Umair. I work as a corporate director of finance for a hospitality management company. I find the session for today very interactive, and it was very learning oriented. I know Sir Rajiv from before. I have attended few of his courses. I'm you know, very much looking forward to the upcoming courses. I have attended at least 3 of his courses already. I'm like based on his in-depth knowledge and as well as the industry expertise, I think he's one of the best that I have seen in the industry. And in the pool of the trainers that they are very good also. So there is a good learning opportunity for all those who are interested to learn from their resources. Secondly, Sir Munir, actually, your session was quite unique. So basically, you know, there was a movie called Three Idiots, wherein Amir Khan basically goes on and tells the head how you should approach. So one of the way you talked about is the mindset. So I thought that was very helpful in your session. Of course, you mentioned few of the resources that we can go to learn technology, but I think the main crux was how you touch the mindset. So that I thought was very interactive. And of course, learning from Tele people, I think they did a very wonderful presentation of their software, how they are enabling the businesses. I think that is reflecting their adaptability towards the changes in the accounting and the software industry. I think that was very helpful. This is my overall feedback.
Thank you so much. That was awesome. Yeah, anyone? No females?
So like this gentleman mentioned that we've covered a very wide array of complicated topics. So, and it's not very often that we have industry experts with us that we can question and sort of gain clarity from. So here is our invitation to you to ask them any questions that you might have through the entire day. Any questions that they'll be really happy to answer. The floor is all yours. Anyone has any questions?
They will be giving some more feedbacks, please. Yeah, anyone? Oh, good.
എൻ്റെ പേര് ഫാരിഷ. ഞാനൊരു ടാക്സ് കൺസൾട്ടൻ്റ് ആണ്. അപ്പോൾ ഇന്നൊരു സൺഡേ കിട്ടിയപ്പോൾ വിചാരിച്ചത് റെസ്റ്റ് എടുക്കാമെന്നാണ്. പക്ഷേ ഇവിടെ വന്നപ്പോൾ 10 to 6 എങ്ങനെ ബോറടിച്ച് എന്ത് അവസ്ഥയിലായിരിക്കും എന്നൊക്കെ വിചാരിച്ചത്. പക്ഷേ ഇവിടെ വന്നു കഴിഞ്ഞപ്പോൾ ഫുൾ എനർജിയിൽ ഇത്ര നേരമായിട്ട് ഒരു എനർജിയും പോവാണ്ട് ഇരിക്കാൻ പറ്റി. അത്ര നല്ല ക്ലാസ് ആയിരുന്നു. എസ്പെഷ്യലി രാജീവ് സാറിൻ്റെതും പിന്നെ മുനീർ സാറിൻ്റെതും. ടാലി നമ്മൾ ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിലും അതിൻ്റെ ലേറ്റസ്റ്റ് വേർഷനും അതിൻ്റെ കാര്യങ്ങളൊക്കെ കറക്റ്റായിട്ട് പറഞ്ഞു തന്നു. എന്തായാലും അമേസിങ്, വളരെയധികം ഇഷ്ടപ്പെട്ടു. ഇന്നത്തെ സൺഡേ എന്തായാലും വേസ്റ്റ് ആയില്ല. അപ്പോൾ താങ്ക് യു വെരി മച്ച്.
Thank you so much. That was awesome. Anyone else? Voluntarily, if someone can come up, we can conclude the session. Yeah, all right. If you have any questions, you can.
Just one announcement not need to make, so which is especially from Wafaa Group and Tally. They have come up with sponsoring some of the courses which FintEdu does it. My key person and the account manager is Tahir. So we are giving 10 scholarships for the corporate tax course, which is starting from 16th August. You will be paying only 30% for 10 people. First 10 people only pay 30% and you'll get 4 days full course, which is spread on 30 hours. You get a recording version also, which you can see again and again for next 2 months after the course is completed. So 10 people will get 30%. They have to pay only 30%. And next 10 people, they have to pay only 60%. So these are the sequence. That means 20 scholarships are coming in, one only on 30% payment. We want to keep the money because we want you also to be serious about the courses. What we have seen previously where we give 100% scholarship, people take the opportunity from other and don't even attend in some cases, so which we don't want. So 30% for first 10 people and 60% payment for next 10 people. If anyone wants, you can connect with Tahir. Our course is starting from 16th. But otherwise also, this is a paid I'm talking about. There are enough of material, enough of video, enough of articles which are there in our portal and LinkedIn. Do keep reading it and you will get into a like-minded people, finance people. You will get a very amazing network. That is, I think, more important for you to learn, and we are here to support anything and everything for finance learners. So we are pure We don't get into any other courses other than tax and compliance and accounting is what we talked about. That's what we do. Thank you very much from FintEdu side, and thank you for your contributions.
Thank you
also.
so much. Thank you so much. That was wonderful. And we should thank Tally and team, because when we come up today, we had a very delicious lunch, 2 tea breaks. That's and team, because when we come up today, we had a very delicious lunch, 2 that arrangements done by Tally. A big round of applause to Tally and team. And regarding the AI side of it, as I told you, we have a master class online, Daido.ai. That is a new startup we just begin. And there is a course for AI for business, which is of 11 modules and 120 lessons. And out of this, as I'm inspired from your talks, and I'll be giving 10 free, completely free courses, available for you. And since you have given the feedback, from that we'll take up 10 of them. Yeah, all of them, and I'll pick up 10 of them, same way what we have chosen you guys from 5,000. So we'll be picking up 10 and we'll be giving a free, course for all of you on AI in business. That will definitely going to help you and your company in a way that it is covering the 5 different departments, how we can implement AI in different 5 departments, what are the tools can be used, and the complete screen recording of the tools and lessons are completely covered. And it's very simple as I talk to you, as simple as that. So you take it from us, that's the gift for the day. Thank you.
Fintaxtic 1000 has had a immensely impeccable response. We received 5,000 interest for it, and it was not easy selecting 100 of y'all to be here present with us. I'm pretty sure you guys have also had a very interesting session. Munir sir presented us with AI, Rajiv sir presented us with corporate tax, Mr. Nandraj Shetty and Mr. Praveen introduced us to the new features of Tally. As a closing, any questions that you have regarding all of these 3 topics, they're right here for you. Anything that we can address or any questions that you may have?
A few words from sir.
I think some of you already mentioned it's worth spending 8 hours on Sunday. On a summer Sunday, mostly it's a lazy Sunday, right? So it has become very active I've seen most of you participating in the morning. It is heavy day, definitely. It's of a lot of knowledge, which someone mentioned, Raju sir. Corporate tax is not a 1 or 2 hour subject. It's a huge subject to be, and I mean, even spend weeks, I don't think you'll be able to, complete the whole things of corporate tax. So you put it in a nutshell to this audience what is required. Okay, so that was the beauty of this session. And Munir sir's thought on AI, and overall, the conceptualized version of this Fintaxtic came out very nicely today. This is the first session. We were discussing, how this would be. So evening we were telling it went well, because it's a full house, first session. And until now, everyone is here participating. So it's a beautiful. And if you say, for us, this initiative has given us a very deserved satisfaction. Thank you so much, and thanking each and everyone for your participation. Thank you.
Yeah, the whole credit goes to every one of you. A big round of applause to you guys.
Sir, can we invite all of you to the center of the stage so that we can take a picture, please? Great. So while everyone here will be getting a certificate, I think there have been 10 people who have really helped boost this session for us. Along with Nandaraj sir, Mr. Munir sir, and Mr. Rajiv, we will be giving them a token of our appreciation in the form of a certificate. So yeah. Can we have Mr. Shadiman VP on the stage, please? Mr. Shadiman VP. Mr. Rizwan Rashid. Ms. Neetu Varghese. Ms. Adisha Dev. Mr. Anwar Alauddin. Mr. Muhammad Umaid. Mr. Muhammad Nishad CK. Visalakshi KM. Mr. Gulab Nabziadam. Mr. Muhammad Riaz. So everyone will be getting a copy of the certificate on your mail, and we would like to thank every one of you. Can we please gather in the center of the stage for a picture? Great, so we're really close to the end of our session, so I would like to invite every one of you for a group picture so that we can commemorate the amazing start of Fintaxtic 1000. So please come forward and let's take a big group picture. Also a request for everyone who's taken pictures throughout the event, please upload them on Instagram, wherever, Facebook, LinkedIn, and please don't forget to tag Tali Meena. Please also tag Mr. Munir Al-Wafaa, FintEdu, along with Mr. Rajiv Hira. And yeah, let's stand up and come close to the stage, please.
Certificate എല്ലാവർക്കും കിട്ടുന്നതാണ് email വഴി. Everybody will be getting a digital same certificate. And if at all you need a hard copy like this, we can get it from FintEdu. FintEduയിൽ നമ്മൾക്ക് അത് ഡയറക്റ്റ് ആയിട്ട് പോയി കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ നമുക്ക് കിട്ടുന്നതാണ്. എന്തായാലും താങ്ക് യു സോ മച്ച് ഫോർ ദാറ്റ് ആൻഡ് വി ക്യാൻ ഹാവ് എ ഗ്രൂപ്പ് ഫോട്ടോ. എനിക്ക് തോന്നുന്നു കുറച്ചൊരു കൺഫ്യൂഷൻ ഉണ്ടായിട്ടുണ്ട് പേരിൽ. That will be covering up.
Some of you can join us in front of the stage. Some of you can join us on the stage. At the back of the stage, you won't be covered in the picture, so we request you to come in front of the stage, please. Great. So 1, 2, 3, Fintaxtic. Okay, can everyone please put their thumbs up and say Fintaxtic? 1, 2, 3, Fintaxtic. Thank you everyone. Please don't forget to tag us at TallyMeena. Please follow us at TallyMeena. Please follow Mr. Munawar Al Wafaa and CA Rajiv Hira.
Just in case whoever has brought their car, they have to stamp their valet ticket at the counter, at the registration desk. If you have bought a car, get a stamp from a registration desk. Okay. For a valet parking, you can get a stamp at the registration desk.